Ready to worship. Yes. Thank you so much, choir. You're amazing. And I had a wonderful Thanksgiving. How about you? Did you have a good Thanksgiving? Lots of gratitudes? Yeah. Still feeling it, yeah. I actually went camping for Thanksgiving this all last week. I went to Cape Disappointment. Dun, dun, dun. Anybody ever been there? Who's been there? Yeah. Is it disappointing? No. Go there. It's beautiful. It's stunning. It's where the river meets the ocean, about 3.5 hours south, and it's stunning. 2 lighthouses you can hike up to. A lot of fun. My wife and I, my wife's name is Gina, by the way, we took our RV there because we haven't had a chance to take the RV out since we've been here. And we went to this beautiful, beautiful place, and we met our camping neighbors who also had an RV. And they were lesbians. And it was really cool because we connected with them and we told our coming out stories. Now, a lot of people who are gay and lesbian have the story, like the coming out story, because many of us don't know how it's going to go. We don't. And for me, it wasn't too bad. My coming out story is that I tried to teach my girlfriend how to drive my car, and she hit something with it. And I didn't flip out over it, and my parents are like, "What's going on? What's with this relationship? You're completely chill with it." And I admitted that this girl was my girlfriend, and I was trying to teach her how to drive my car. And they said, "We love you, we accept you for who you are, just don't do any public displays of affection in front of us, because that makes us too uncomfortable," which still hurt my feelings. It definitely hurt my feelings. However, they've completely changed and transformed. That was many years ago, and they're completely accepting of me as I am, probably watching right now. Hi, Mom. Hi, John. And the new friends that we met had such challenging coming out stories. Still, one of them still disenfranchised from their family. And I got permission from my wife to tell her her story. My wife, Gina, she knew from a very young age that she was gay, but she did not come out to her parents until college. And what happened is that she had a girlfriend who was in San Francisco, and she lived in Watsonville. And she had her girlfriend sneak in the house and spend the night. And while Gina was in the bathroom, the parents discovered the girlfriend, which, by the way, my wife is a Latina Mexican Catholic. I can tell you it did not go well at all. And after much yelling and screaming, her parents said, "Get out." And that moment, they changed the locks on the doors and they kicked her out of the house. And she was disenfranchised from her family for a couple of years. Her mom would not let her brothers and sisters who were older than her take her in, so she had to kind of rough it on her own for a little while. Now, her mom, a couple years later, got very ill, and her sister told her, and she thought her mom was going to die. And so she went to the hospital, and the moment Gina and her mom saw each other, they started crying. And they forgave each other. And everything was repaired from that moment on. And whenever I met her family, Gina did warn me that maybe they would not accept me, but fortunately they did. They gave me loving arms, and they welcomed me into their family. As a matter of fact, they bother me because I don't visit them enough, so. But the thing about this story is forgiveness. Each and every one of us have times in our lives when somebody has harmed us. Somebody has done something that has hurt our feelings or personally, physically hurt our being, our hearts, our souls. And I wanted to bring this topic up of forgiveness because forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools that we have and yet also one of the most uncomfortable. It's one of the most difficult tools because when I forgive, I give forth myself. I forgive. I give forth of myself. I surrender the possibility of there being a different past. And I step into the idea of transformation. When I talk about forgiveness, I don't mean forgetting. Some people think, oh, well, you want me to forget what happened. No, I don't mean forgetting. Or you might think I'm saying, oh, because if you forgive, then you're encouraging the behavior. No, that's not it either. I'm not condoning what happened. Forgiving is less about the other person and more about me. It's not, if I forgive somebody, I'm letting them off the hook. No. There are circumstances and situations that we have in our life that allow us to create healthy boundaries and ways of being good stewards with each other in the world. And when I'm forgiving, I stop drinking the poison that I think is going to go for that other person. I'm like, so mad at them for doing that thing, so I'm going to drink the poison so you suffer. And that's not how it works. It's really letting it go. It's unburdening ourselves of the pain and the suffering and the sorrow and the attachment to the past and starting a new possibility for the future. When I forgive, I can allow that person to walk through my mind without doing anything mean to them in my head. That's when I know I've forgiven. Now, forgiveness takes layers. It takes time. It takes over and over and over again sometimes. And sometimes I need to ask for help. Sometimes I need to know that the infinite everything, God, the source of all, can assist me in the process. I can ask for help. And the great thing about God, I got a little secret to tell you. God doesn't forgive. God doesn't forgive because God never judged you in the first place. There is no judgment at all from the infinite one. There's only love. It's us. We're the ones who hold all the anger and the repressed ways of being towards each other. So we hold the burden of responsibility for forgiving. And whenever I forgive, I create new opportunities for being in this world as a loving person. I want to have peace on this planet. I really do. But how can I create peace out there if I don't have peace in here? Because I'm angry at something that happened in the past. I got to come to the resolution and let it go. Where I can actually get to the point of surrendering the idea of changing the person or situation and stepping into the idea of love. And that's where Thanksgiving comes in. Giving thanks. Can I actually give thanks for somebody who harmed me? Can I give thanks for that situation because it transformed me into a better person? I know I've completely forgiven when I can get to that space of gratitude. There's a story in this book called This Life is Joy by Roger Teal. There's a man, he was super excited that winter was over and he could fly his classic airplane again. It was an older single-engine plane, you know, the one with like the stick. So not the, you know, it's got a stick so he can fly it. And I'm sorry, I'm not the plane expert here, I'm trying here. But he taxied the plane, he had it checked out, and he had a perfect takeoff. And as the plane was going, his stick started jiggling, and he started to lose a little bit of the control of the plane. And he just had this hit, he had a download, that what if there were rats in the tail end of his plane, and they were chewing on the control wire? There's only one one wire in the tail. What if they were doing that? And so immediately he knew that if that was actually happening, then he could die. He could perish. So as he thought about it, he thought, I should go up into the air, I should go higher. And so he did one of those steep climbs where he started almost losing consciousness. And just as he got to the point of almost losing consciousness, he felt the plane steady. And so he brought it in and he landed the plane. And he looked in the tail of the plane, and there were 3 rats that were in the tail of the plane. And they died whenever he did this steep climb. They suffocated. And so he managed to save his own life. So the moral of the story is that if you want to stop the rats from chewing at your control cords, you've got to climb higher. You know, it's one of the highest forms of self-love is forgiving. I did a little research on forgiveness. It's a big thing now. Dr. Fred Luskin, he studied it many, many years ago. I think he started maybe 30 years ago, he started studying forgiveness. And at the Mayo Clinic, you can research the benefits of forgiveness. It creates healthier relationships, greater spiritual and psychological well-being, less anxiety, stress, and hostility, lower blood pressure, fewer symptoms of depression, stronger immune system, improved heart health, and higher self-esteem. Anybody interested? Totally interested. But how do you forgive? You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to let go of being the victim. You have to change your victim story. You have to surrender the idea that you're a victim anymore. And if you're willing to surrender the idea of being a victim anymore, you can embrace your own power and take it back. Because oftentimes in those situations that need forgiveness, we give our power away to that person, and that person still maintains the power and control until we take it back. I wanted to do a very special ceremony with all of you because I know the power of the consciousness of groups can change the world. And I also know that each and every one of us has a morphic field, an energy field that goes from our center out, forward, backward, side to side. They say in the research it's 8 feet, so my field's touching your field and you're touching, so our fields are all intermixing together. And when I did a little bit more research on these fields, they said the reason why it's 8 feet is because that's how far their instruments could read. Yeah, because they couldn't read any farther. So really we don't know how far our fields touch each other, but I'm gonna say I think we're really interconnected in a way that's very deep and profound. So whenever I do the forgiveness in here, I can affect all of it out there. And I want to have each and every one participate in a forgiveness ceremony. I'd like to utilize each other for the power for good in the world. So not just for ourselves, I really want to try this and allow us to forgive each other in this process. I notice I have a few practitioners here. Could I kindly have the practitioners stand up and surround the room all the way around and hold consciousness and space for the ceremony? I'd like this room to be a chamber of healing, a place where each and every one of us encircled in this realm of consciousness, that we choose to create healing for ourselves and for the world. I'd like each and every one of us to, in our hearts and souls, put the intention out there that as I am forgiving and being forgiven, that I'm literally changing the world, that I'm causing a shift in the world. So I'm going to call out conditions. There are different ways of being in this world that have caused harm to people, different identities. And I'd like to let it go now. I'd like to surrender that. So I'd like somebody to stand who could represent women. Would somebody kindly represent women? Thank you. I'd like somebody to stand and represent men. Thank you. I'd like somebody to stand and represent LGBTQI folks. Right there. I'll take, okay, we got 2 people. I would like somebody to stand to represent all people of color. Thank you. I'd like somebody to stand to represent people with a visible or invisible disability. Thank you, right there. I'd like somebody to stand to represent all the abused children in the world. Thank you. I'd like somebody to stand as for representing any foreigners in any country. Got one? All right. Thank you. I'd like to have somebody stand to represent biracial marriages. I'd like somebody to stand and represent people of size. Okay. I'd like somebody to stand and represent a parent raising a child of color. And I'd like somebody to stand and represent those people who I have not spoken yet. So just somebody kind of, who else? Okay. Tees and Janet. Okay, we have Tees and Janet over there. All right, now you two, Tees and Janet, what I'd like you to do, if you are, I'd like the rest of the room to call out conditions that I didn't call, anything that needs to be healed. Single parents. What age? Mental health challenges, okay?
Anyone grieving.
Grieving. What? Addiction. Abandoned children. Adoption. Socioeconomic class. Homeless. Illegal immigrants. Step parents. Okay, so each one of you know what you stood for, right? You're going to maintain standing for what you chose to stand for. You're the physical representation of this group of people on this planet right now. So keep standing as a physical group, the representative group. And I'd like everybody in the room to place your hands towards one of these people who are standing. One or more. Place your hands towards. I'm representing the person who's the other. And I want you to know that I cannot know and I do not know what it is to walk your walk. I don't know what it is to live your experience. I don't know what it is to be shunned, quieted, dismissed, or discounted because of who you are. I don't know what it is like to not have my story believed. What I do know is that to have these experiences, that I can take responsibility right here and now on behalf of everybody and create a safe space in the spiritual community. I know that I can stand for you and represent love for you, knowing that our journeys may have been different, but we're here together, united in consciousness. And I'd like everybody to please repeat after me. I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Your voice matters to me.
Your voice matters to me.
I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Your voice matters to me.
Your voice matters
I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Your voice matters to me.
Your voice matters to me.
I am sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I thank you.
I thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
I am sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I thank you.
I thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
I am sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I thank you.
I thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
I am sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I thank you.
I thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Your voice matters to me.
Your voice matters to me.
I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Your voice matters to me.
Your voice matters to me.
I see you.
I see you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Your voice matters to me.
Your voice matters to me.
And now I'd like to invite the practitioners to join me in doing a chamber of prayer, a chamber of healing prayer around all of these individuals. And so knowing right here, right now, that there is an infinite source of love and light, and that this infinite source of love and light is the great creator God that created everything. And every idea of hurt and separation that is in this world, I know is just merely an experience of not knowing the truth of the being of the infinite one. And so the great creator is here now dissolving all hurts, all pains, all suffering, that there is true forgiveness that is happening in hearts and souls and minds, that there is a letting go of the old identity and stepping into a new possibility for each and every one of us and for the world. I'm so grateful to see and feel and know this truth, and to know that a great healing has taken place right here and right now, that something has shifted in this entire community, and it ripples out into the world, into Seattle, into each and every heart and soul that is suffering right here and right now, that something is activated and transformed within us. I'm so grateful to know that this powerful force for good is activated in me right here and right now. And so I surrender into it with absolute gratitude, knowing that this is life and love, that wholeness is realigned and realized right here, right now. And for that, I'm grateful. And so it is. Thank you. You may be seated. Namaste.